So in today's video, we've got another Paletools Q A answering some of the most popular questions you guys have, such as, will I get banned for using Paletools? So between now and the 6th of October, I'm going to be uploading a daily free eafc 25 trading guide. This will include everything to do on the web app to make as many coins as possible with both trading and investing. I'll be talking about the full release, what we expect to see regarding the market, and there'll also be a daily updated investing guide, all in there, updated every day for free. No gimmicks whatsoever, all you gotta do is click on the Google Docs link on the top link of the description. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be walking through the problems and queries you guys have regarding Paletools in any of the tutorials we release, for example, maybe for PC, for the Android, or for iOS. We're walking through all your questions, hopefully showing you guys how you guys can sort them out, getting you on Paletools. So the most popular question across all videos is, can you get banned? It's basically a variation of, can you get banned, will it give my PC a virus, and will I get hacked? It's research because, of course, as recently we've released a lot of content on Paletools, and I wouldn't be creating this content if I thought it was highly malicious. So what I've done is I've gone and, I guess, looked at all the comments and going through social media kind of just to see what the general gist on, are people getting banned, are they getting suspended and so on. The answer to that is, from my research, a very minor amount of people have had suspensions. That's as bad as it gets. And then we also don't know, are they telling the truth? Were they using the sniping extension? Were they using stuff other than SBCs? But just to put your mind at rest, we probably had over, I guess, like 100,000 views across all the Paletools tutorials we've made in the last month or two. And I think we've maybe had like 3 comments that people have said they've been banned, and even when people are saying banned, they may be being suspended. So I'd be very surprised if even if there is a chance, and again, we're not talking your account full on getting closed, it might be 7 days you can't use the web app or something like that. But this is happening to like 1 in 10,000, 1 in 20,000 and so on. This is a very, very small pool of players. And even when these guys are being affected via using Paletools, it's not like their account's gone forever. It's just potentially a 7-day suspension on the web app, which, I'd imagine isn't the end of the world, especially compared to people being worried about their accounts straight up being wiped. So people thought there was a wave of bans that occurred recently because of Paletools, but it was actually because people were playing games when FUT Champs qualification and there was some glitch going around, and even though they weren't exploiting the glitch, they were getting banned for that. Well, they got instantly unbanned for that. But this is why I'm referring to where people seem to have been affected by Paletools. Now, of course, we, 100% can't vouch that this guy hasn't done anything other than using it, but the reason for the suspension does kind of coincide with Paletools. Now, EA is fully in their right to do this because you're actually not allowed to use third-party tools on the web app because, of course, you're gaining an advantage over the next. But that doesn't mean that EA go through with actually banning people. For example, we had something like the FUTBin import, which is where you'd import your whole club onto FUTBin and seeing what players are being worth. Well, because of course that was kind of going into the, I guess, the back end of EA, people could have got banned for that, but no one ended up getting banned for that, and that was a very heavily used tool about 2 or 3 years ago. Well, it's the same thing like with Paletools, is the masses aren't getting banned for this, but there are some people being affected, just showing that EA aren't 100% with it. And again, this kind of all coincides with it, using a program or script to cheat in-game or web app. And again, right here they're referring to using Paletools to cheat / gain the advantage, I guess, to mass build SBCs. Now, of course, it's not directly really affecting people. It's kind of indirectly affecting EA because you're spending less time in the game because you're building the SBCs. But again, the translation is that apparently he's received a 7-day ban. Which, I mean, if you go and get this, that then might be your days of wanting to use Paletools being over. But I mean, up until you get that, you should be able to use it freely. It's basically just a warning and kind of, you stop using Paletools. I mean, if you're not that fussed, you could continue using Paletools. The only problem is I'm not quite sure if you could then go and use your account going into eafc 25, as I could almost guarantee that you wouldn't have the web app unlocked. Again, I was just searching Paletools ban, and you're not seeing much coming up whatsoever. All you see pop up is people talking about being soft banned. They can't go and complete an SBC for 6 hours, 24 hours. You're not seeing people talking about them being straight up banned or even suspended for using it. And this app's been around all the way since 2022. So if there's a lack of ban reports in generally, 2-3 years of this app being out, then it's looking quite promising. To wrap it up, I think, yes, there is the chance you can get banned, but I would prefer to take my chances. I'd take a 1 in 10,000 chance of being banned for the sake of me being able to enjoy FIFA a lot more than if I wasn't going to, use Paletools, for example. If I generally thought there was a high chance of getting banned or I thought it was super risky, I would have made videos on them. But I generally, again, I've got like 18, 19 million coins in my account and I'll happily use it because it saves me so much time. It generally makes playing FIFA a lot more enjoyable, especially in footies when you want to do loads of packs and loads of picks, maybe not spend so much time playing the game. So it kind of comes in with this one and it says, if I download it, it will damage my computer. The reason it says this is because it's not an official app on an app store. It's not an official sort of thing to go and download. So your firewalls and, you know, I guess the things that are built into your iOS and so on are going to flag this and say, okay, well, we haven't officially released this, therefore we're not saying it is dodgy, but it's definitely got the chance of being dodgy because it hasn't gone through our checks. Well, I would say this has been out since 2022, and although you could counter argue and say, well, actually it's blown up now, therefore if the dev did have an incentive to, you know, release some sort of malicious content, this would be the great time to do it, not back in 2022 is not popular. But because obviously it's been out for about 2 years now, or over 2 years, and nothing bad or nothing dodgy has come from it, I therefore go off of, yes, if they really wanted to do something dodgy, they could, but I go and take the gamble. And again, coming through of hacking, you know, a lot of people have been asking me, oh, will I get hacked if I use this? I'm sure if the dev really wanted, they could go out there and, you know, hack everyone's accounts and blah, 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 blah. But again, this has been out for 2.5 years, so it's just kind of like you got to trust them, really. And if you really don't want to trust them, you can just not use it. But again, it's been out for so long, and I'm sure if there was an incentive to do a lot of hacking or viruses or, you know, put malicious content onto your devices, they could have done it in the last 2.5 years. And so the topic of actually malicious stuff is, this is actually the CEO and the guy who made Paletools. And he said, can you please update your description of the video and put the link of Paletools/FIFA, because apparently there are counterfeit sites. So potentially, even if you are seeing people talking about viruses and so on, it may be because they've fallen for these counterfeit sites. If you guys are getting it on the web app, getting it on your iOS, downloading the app for Android, please do make sure to use the link https://pale.tools/FIFA. And again, I will go and put this in the top link of the description. That again is from the CEO of Paletools himself. So I also think it fits this very well, but this is someone asking me how to use the sniping bot. Now again, you won't get me using or won't get me making any content regarding how to use any of the stuff to gain a market, because if there is anything that is going to go and flag your account, and again, it's what people thought that the person who did get suspended was doing, was using the sniping bots, because as soon as you start doing stuff on the market, EA's headlights kind of flick up, because again, it's looking a bit dodgy, and even if you're making legit profit on FIFA, sometimes you can find yourself getting banned. If you're making non-legit profit, it's probably only going to flag it more, and again, I wouldn't recommend that. As someone who's been like a legit trader on FIFA for like 10, 11 years, the last thing I'm going to go and do is recommend you to try and make money with illegitimate sort of methods, which as a result could potentially get you banned. So I'm still getting lots of questions about, I've done loads of SBCs on the web app, companion app, and now I'm soft banned, but I can go onto my console and still build SBCs. Why is this the case? It's quite funny because it's actually something I've covered in multiple videos, but actually the guy, again, the CEO who made Paletools, actually made a really good sort of description video himself. The only problem is it's in Spanish, if I'm not wrong. So basically, what he says is, this is you, right? And when you're doing SBCs, you can do SBCs on 3 things. You can either do it on the web app, you can do it on the companion app, and you can do it on the console. And when you go and do an SBC on the web app, basically you go and send to the servers that you've completed an SBC. And they come back to the web app saying, okay, he's completed an SBC. So eventually what's going to happen is you're going to complete loads of SBCs on the web app, and the servers are going to say, okay, you've done loads of SBCs, and now you're soft banned. But what you can see is when you're completing SBCs on the web app, it's just going back and forth between the web app and the servers. What it's not doing is it's not touching the companion app. That's because the companion app's got its own chain of going back and forth across the servers. Likewise, the console also has its own chain of going back and forth across the servers, which is why you can be banned on the web app, but you won't be banned on the console. That's because the servers haven't actually gone and told your PlayStation that you've gone and done 200 SBCs on the web app. And that's because the servers haven't gone and told your PlayStation 5 that you've gone and done 250 sort of SBCs on the web app. That doesn't know how many SBCs you've done on the web app because it's its own separate thing. It's only when you go and do 200 odd SBCs and the servers goes and comes back and said he's done 200 SBCs, will you then be suspended on that? There is no sort of correlation between being suspended on the web app and being suspended on the console. Next question we are going to answer is, can you do this on the PlayStation 5? So I've had a few people ask me this. I thought it'd be a little bit more straightforward, but maybe it isn't. So of course, how you can go and use Paletools on the web app is because you're downloading something. You're downloading something like an extension that adds to the web app. On the console, you can't really download stuff. It's like on the console, you can't go and download mods and you can't go and download hacks. But on PC, it is very, very easy to go and find mods and hacks for games if you want to go and play them on your PC. Likewise, you can go and jailbreak your iPhone, you can go and jailbreak an Android, although an Android is practically jailbroken in the first place. And as a result of all these other things being easy to hack and download mods for, that is why there's Paletools for it. But there is no Paletools for console because, again, you can't download hacks and mods for the console let alone downloading Paletools. So for example, if you only have a PlayStation 5 and an iPhone, you can only go and do the Paletools on the iPhone, and then once it's been on the iPhone, there isn't really anything you can do. And this will be the last question we'll go and answer in this one. How do I fix a thing that says about softband or fail to smoke the SBC? I've reinstalled and refreshed and it still doesn't work. So again, like we were saying earlier, you can only do about 100 SBCs every hour and 600 SBCs every 24 hours. And again, that happens because you're telling the servers, you're going back and forth, and the servers are saying, okay, you can only do 600. So deleting Paletools and reinstalling it won't allow you to do more SBCs because the servers have told the web app that you've done 600 SBCs in 24 hours, you can't do any more until 24 hours has started again. Deleting and reinstalling it isn't actually doing anything because the web app still remembers that you've gone and done 600 SBCs in the last 24 hours, so you just need to wait it out. So actually deleting apps and reinstalling them, and I think someone said moving the clock forward 24 hours, doesn't actually do anything whatsoever because it's kind of between the servers and the web app, not between the servers and Paletools, which would then reset if you deleted it and reinstalled it. So that's going to go and wrap it up. I still have around about 8 pages of questions to go and answer, but I thought we'll keep this one very, ban related, SBC ban related, whereas some of the others are more, how to go and fix stuff in the Paletools menus itself, which will release probably in the next 48 hours. Also, a video I will be releasing in the next 48 hours is the exact number of SBCs you can do every hour and 24 hours. I'll be setting one of my web app accounts and basically noting down every single time I get a ban, how long it was from the previous ban, and probably have like an ongoing timer below the webcam. So that should hopefully be useful because at the moment we're kind of using approximate and estimated numbers, whereas we'll be able to give you the actual facts and figures once we've run the test ourselves. And again, that'll be out in the next 48 hours in the next Paletools Q A. But that has been that. Thank you very much for the support on the channel. It's absolutely insane. And we'll see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.